Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to figure out what these big companies are really up to. And sometimes, let's just say the news they announce isn't always the whole story. Today, we're looking at Union Pacific Corporation and a very important shareholder meeting they held. So Union Pacific, a giant in the railroad industry, had a special meeting for its shareholders back in November 2025. They were voting on something huge, a proposed merger with Norfolk Southern Corporation. Think about it, two of the biggest railroads potentially joining forces. This filing is all about what happened at that meeting and how the shareholders voted. We'll break down the key votes and what they mean for the future of Union Pacific. Before we dive in, if you like getting clear, straightforward analysis of these complex corporate documents, make sure you are subscribed and join our Discord community linked in the description below to discuss these findings with us. The main event at this meeting was a vote on whether to approve issuing Union Pacific's own stock to make this merger happen. This is a pretty standard part of any big merger deal. Companies often use their stock as currency to buy other companies, so the shareholders had to give the thumbs up, essentially saying they were okay with Union Pacific using its shares to acquire Norfolk Southern. To conduct business, they needed a certain number of shares represented either in person or by proxy. Imagine it like a club meeting, you need enough members present to make decisions. Union Pacific had a massive number of shares out there, over 593 million, and at this meeting, a significant chunk, about 79% of those shares, were represented. That is a really strong turnout, showing that shareholders were paying close attention to this potentially game-changing deal. Now, let's get to the numbers for the main vote, approving the stock issuance for the merger. This is where we see the shareholders' sentiment. Out of the 468 million shares that voted, a whopping 465 million voted for the share issuance. That is an overwhelming majority, almost a landslide. Less than 2.3 million shares voted against it, and about 786,000 abstained. This clearly tells us that the vast majority of Union Pacific shareholders were on board with the company using its stock to acquire Norfolk Southern. They saw the value and opportunity in this proposed merger. There was also a proposal to adjourn or postpone the meeting if they didn't have enough votes to pass the main proposal. This is like a backup plan, giving them more time to convince shareholders if needed. Interestingly, this proposal to adjourn also passed by a huge margin with over 443 million votes in favour. However, the report clarifies, with respect to the adjournment proposal, although there were sufficient votes to approve the adjournment proposal, no motion to adjourn was made because the adjournment of the special meeting was determined not to be necessary or appropriate. This is a key point. Even though they had the votes to delay if they needed to, they didn't actually need to. The main proposal passed so resoundingly that there was no need to postpone. This suggests the merger had strong support from the go among the voting shareholders present. After the meeting, Union Pacific put out a press release to share these results. It is pretty standard practice to immediately inform the public and investors about important votes like this. This press release, as of the filing date, was attached as an exhibit, essentially showing the official confirmation of the shareholder approvals. This filing is essentially confirming the outcome of that shareholder vote and documenting it for the Securities and Exchange Commission. It is a formal step in the merger process. So, what is the big picture here? Union Pacific shareholders overwhelmingly approved the use of company stock for the Norfolk Southern merger. This is a massive vote of confidence in the proposed deal and the management team's strategy. It means the path is now clearer for Union Pacific to move forward with acquiring Norfolk Southern, assuming all other conditions like regulatory approvals are met. Looking at this from a Warren Buffett perspective, when you see such a strong vote in favour of a major strategic move like a merger, it suggests that the shareholders believe this acquisition will create significant long-term value. The sheer volume of shares voting yes indicates consensus and belief in the company's vision for future growth and market dominance through consolidation. The fact that the adjournment proposal wasn't needed is also telling. It means the initial vote was strong enough that they didn't need to rally more support, suggesting a well-prepared and well-received proposal. However, it is crucial to remember that a shareholder vote is just one piece of the puzzle. Mergers of this scale face intense scrutiny from regulators, especially in the transportation sector where competition and public interest are paramount. The success of this merger hinges not just on shareholder approval, but also on winning over antitrust bodies and other government agencies, if they successfully merge. Union Pacific would become an even more dominant force, potentially leading to benefits like increased efficiency and cost savings, but also raising concerns about reduced competition and potential price impacts for customers down the line. The company's direction is clearly towards consolidation and greater scale, which can be a strength. But the biggest risk is always regulatory backlash and the challenge of integrating two massive, complex organizations. Alright, that is our breakdown of Union Pacific's special meeting filing. What is your take on this overwhelming shareholder approval and the implications for the future of rail transportation in the United States? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps us out, and be sure to subscribe for more corporate deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord link in the description to join the conversation. Thanks for watching. See you next time.